If you're preparing for your fantasy draft or in a half PPR league, you're going to want to hear this because it could be the difference between you winning your league or missing the playoffs. And for some of you, this will honestly be a hard pill to swallow. Historically, running backs consistently score more points than wide receivers and are often the key to fantasy championships. I posted an entire article doing a deep dive on running back versus wide receiver data over the past 8 years, which you can find below. But for now, let's just focus on the total points. This is the total points chart for the top 30 running backs and top 30 wide receivers over the past 4 years. At almost every rank, running backs outscore wide receivers, but there's 2 breakpoints that you need to pay close attention to. The first breakpoint is the top 5 running backs. If you miss out here, you're leaving roughly 5 points per game on the table. That's 83 points over a season, or basically an entire game's worth of scoring. The takeaway here is don't fade elite running backs in the first round for elite wide receivers. The second breakpoint is running back 15. This is where running back scoring starts to fall off and the advantage starts to dwindle. That's why your goal should be to have 2 running backs no later than the 4th round, or maybe even 3rd round based on how the draft is looking in your league. After this point, you lose a lot of production at the position, and the longer you wait, the more points you lose. Now let's look at the wide receiver 15 to wide receiver 30. This is typically where you'll be drafting your wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 if you're following this strategy. The drop in wide receiver production here is relatively flat. Only 33 points from wide receiver 15 to wide receiver 30. Compared to running back 15 to running back 30, there's a drop in 53 points. That is a much steeper decline. Well, again, that doesn't seem significant because it's, only 20 points. Essentially, you're adding a little more than a point per game to your total week total. I don't know about you, but I've lost some weeks by a point and I've won some weeks by a point. So it matters. Think of this like Moneyball. You give up a small amount of wide receiver points early, but you gain far more total points overall by stacking running backs early and taking wide receivers later when their production drop-off is not as steep. Finally, the running back scarcity problem. In most leagues, you're required to start at least 2 running backs every week, and leagues have a flex position where running backs can obviously be started. The chart makes it clear that there's simply not enough high-scoring running backs to go around. The top running backs not only score more than wide receivers, but the quality at the position dries up much faster. Yes, I get it. Running backs come with a higher injury risk. Valid concern. There's also handcuffs and waiver wire ads that can become relevant, but this is very unpredictable. Elite running backs are the most direct path to scoring more points, winning more games, and winning championships. Check out my full article for the complete 8-year breakdown, not just total points, but I look at average draft position accuracy, consistency rating between the 2 positions, championship point production, and injury data for both positions. It really just paints a full picture of the situation. If you like what you heard, though, and want more content like this, give us a like and subscribe. If not, no worries. Thanks for hanging out. Now go steal a championship.